Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Henning reporting for Hudson TV, and I'm here with the two gentlemen that are running on the Democratic 32nd District Assembly line, trying to unseat the two incumbents, Assemblyman Pedro Mejia and Assemblywoman Angelica Jimenez. That being to my far right, we're at his home in North Bergen, Roger Casada,
Yes.
who's of Cuban descent, and we have his running mate standing immediately to my right, that being from Guttenberg, Mahmoud. You may remember him as a candidate who ran against Congressman Albio Sires in the last election. Gentlemen, we're going to talk about the issues, but before we do that, I just want to have you tell our viewers a little bit about each of you, where you grew up, what you do for a living, that type of thing. So Roger, we'll start with you.
Sure. Well, thank you first of all for having us. This is a big pleasure for us to have the eyes and the ears of our community. So first, I was born here in North Bergen in Palisade General Hospital. I was raised in West New York, North Bergen, this whole area in Hudson County. We were moving a lot because the cost of rent was going up so high. So it's one of these issues that are really important to me, and I feel in my heart. I went to High Tech High School, and I graduated, went to NJIT. I studied architecture. I wanted to do something creative in the arts, and that's why, I took some of the education that I got from High Tech High School, some of the vocational technical skills that they teach, and I brought it with me to High Tech High School. After living in Newark for a few years studying there, I came back to North Bergen. I really miss this town. I love the diversity here. This place is a really great place, and I bought my home 2 years ago. And ever since, I figured, now that I'm here, I want to be more involved in my community, and very, very, very happy to be running in this election to represent my community.
Okay, Mahmoud, as I mentioned, you're from Guttenberg. Why did you, well, before you get into that, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I was born in Cairo, Egypt. Came to the U.S. when I was about 4 years old with my mother, my father, and my brother, my sister. And, as I went through schools, and I got my bachelor's and master's degree, I realized that the world was changing, and me and my identity in the world, I wanted to make a difference. And truly change the lives of other people. That was my purpose in life, is to, truly, inspire people to do something bigger and something better, and to be a part of the change and helping people, create something better for themselves. And, that's what made me run for the first time, that I felt that there was such a divide in our country on a national level. And that's why I said Congress is where I want to start, because this is not the America that I love, and it's not the America that I see. And it's not what I believe in, and I'm not going to sit back and just wait for somebody to do something about it. I want to be the change that I want to see in the world. And that's why I continued this, because there's still much more work to do. And what made me continue this fight is that we live in an area where politics is already decided for you. You don't have options, just like you said. You said there's only one option, one contested seat, which is how you started. And we're the only challengers that people are going to see on the ballot, with the exception of executive. And that's a problem with our politics, right? Competition is good. That's why America is the best. We have competition whether it comes through, stores competing against each other for supermarkets, so many different things. But how come when we go to the ballot box, all we see is just one choice, vote column A? And that's why we're doing this. We're the first challengers in 6 years.
Okay. One of the biggest issues that you guys have been talking about is environmental. Why is that so important? Where do you guys stand? There's a lot of give and take on the proposed power generating plant here in North Bergen.
Environment, climate change has become politicized and has become a partisan issue. And this power plant is going to make us dependent on fossil fuels for probably the next 40, maybe even longer, 50, 60 years. And what we need to do is, at a time where we're at a crisis, according to the IPC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change from the United Nations, they're saying we have 12 years. Other people are saying we have 10 years. There's other scientists who are saying we may have 5 years. So we're really running out of time. And to make us dependent and build an infrastructure project that's going to make us dependent on fossil fuels for decades to come just doesn't make a lot of sense, especially when we just elected a governor that says he's the green governor that's trying to get us to renewables by 2050. We build this plant, that's 40 years. We're almost in 2020, that's 2060. We're not going to reach those energy goals. And this plant isn't the only infrastructure project happening in the state of New Jersey. We have 12 other infrastructure projects that have been identified that are also having battles of their own in their communities, respective communities. We're continuing to build this infrastructure. We don't need it. We don't need this extra energy output. New York doesn't even necessarily, there's no independent study that shows that they need that energy. We're building it purely for profits. I really don't understand. That's one of the main reasons I decided to run.
Okay, is there anything else you want to add with regard to environmental issues, Mahmoud, or should we move on to another topic?
No, I think we should stay on this one because it is the most pressing issue of our time. Because if we don't take care of our environment, our climate, then thunderstorms are going to take a look at what happened in the last week. We've had so many thunderstorms, hurricanes, right here at home in New Jersey, which we're not used to. We also haven't talked about the Keegan landfill, right? The people of Kearney, which is in Hudson County.
And part of the 32nd District.
And part of our district, have been protesting, screaming, shouting about the landfill in Kearney, right? Which is right there where residents live. People have been screaming, shut it down, going to New Jersey Sports Exposition Authority meetings, telling people to shut it down, right? Going and protesting time and time again, all to no avail.
Aside from environmental issues, which are obviously high priority in your campaign, what are the other main things that you have been campaigning on, going around the district, talking to residents about? What are the other top priorities for you should you become elected in November?
Sure. Well, I mean, one of them for sure is healthcare. We need to demand that healthcare is a human right and everybody needs to have access to it, affordable access. It's a complicated issue. I've talked to a lot of healthcare groups who are trying to get universal healthcare, and they're saying it's very complicated because we have so many interstate, commerce going on between New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and so people may work somewhere and live somewhere else. And so what we really need to do is push this on a national level. But in the meantime, I think the governor recently came out with, like 14 different bills to try to make healthcare more affordable, try to strengthen the Affordable Care Act. So that for us is very, very important. People are dying every day. They can't afford their insulin. We need to lower the influential effects of pharmaceutical companies that increases the cost of healthcare tremendously. So, and then another issue that's really important to us is affordable housing. Income inequality is really important. We also want to legalize fully marijuana and cannabis because of its social justice and racial justice implications. I think the time has come.
Anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, absolutely. In addition to those, it's not just what we want. We've been knocking on doors. We've been listening to people in the community in the 32nd District, and this is what they want. Here's what they've been telling us. When it comes to Edgewater, there's a super toxic fun site. They're also overdeveloping luxury condos and receiving tax abatements, which the people are not receiving money for those tax abatements for. Not only that, it's causing congestion on River Road where people are stuck in traffic and they can only do their shopping for their week just on Saturday because the blue laws close down all the shopping centers. That's for Edgewater. For Guttenberg, there's a lack of senior housing. There's a 10-year waiting list for people to even get into a senior housing. How do you expect people who have elderly parents who they need to take care of, they're going to have to go to another district to be able to take care of their families and elderly parents that are here? When it comes to Kearney, the people of Kearney have been, shouting about the Keegan landfill. Sea Caucus, it's the Meadowlands power plant that they're building there, and it's causing congestion, and the infrastructure there is causing problems.
Those are really important. That's what's on top of people's minds. Jobs are on top of people's minds, which is why we're pushing for this Green New Deal, this green energy economy, because there's so many jobs to be made in the green energy sector, the renewable energy sector.
Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, absolutely. A representative's job is to do just that, to represent, to be the ears of the community, and to carry out what the people want. Our supervisors, once we get elected, right, in November, is to represent what the people's interests are. They're our supervisors, right? When it comes to Harrison, they have the highest property taxes in Hudson County. That's been the main issue in Harrison. People are fed up with how much they're paying in property taxes and how much little they're receiving on their investment, right? It's an investment. Why am I paying all of this money to have broken roads? Right, when it comes to Fairview, teachers are worried about their pensions, and they're worried about the classroom sizes and overcrowded classrooms in Fairview. So it's on us to ensure when we take a look at the budget at the state level to ensure that the money is appropriated to the correct places.
Right, which is why we support the millionaire's tax. Governor Murphy has been pushing for this millionaire's tax. He says that this money is going to go toward a rainy day fund. He's also saying that this is going to lower property taxes for people all over New Jersey. I know that they've talked about consolidating school districts and trying to remove some of the extra overhead administrative costs that our current school systems have. I think we have like over 500 different municipalities in the state of New Jersey. There's just a lot of duplicative, money that's wasted. And so I think we need to look at that. It's because we can't wave a magic wand and lower people's taxes, but what we can do is we can see how the state budget is planning to spend this money. Are they doing it efficiently? Are they wasting money giving it away to the Economic Development Authority, which has wasted, we know now, $11 billion on political contracts, through political connections. So we want to be 100% transparent to the people. We're going to tell them exactly what's going on when we get to the legislature, and we're not going to be, responded our boss is the people.
One thing?
Yeah, one last thing. We are the first challengers for this seat in 6 years. We're making history just by even being on the ballot. But we have an opportunity tomorrow to pull off an upset where we're the first challengers possibly to ever win a seat as a challenger, right? It's always about voting column A, and that's your only option. But tomorrow you have a different option. You have an option to make history, and we want you to be a part of that. We want you to see that there's something different, not just the same representatives, owing to a party line. It's owing to the people. And that's what we are doing. We're taking our message to the streets by knocking on doors, by being out in the community, and we want you to be a part of history tomorrow. And when we announce the results tomorrow night, we want you to be a part of that too.
Hey, gentlemen, again, thank you for speaking with me. I appreciate it. Reporting for Hudson TV in North Bergen, I'm Jeff Hennig. Thank you for watching.